Okay, day 2 of playing around with Cruelty. We have 2 automated flasks. It's amazing. I'm very excited. The amount of survivability that just these 2 flasks, which are just 6 charges on whenever you hit, provide is actually insane. This one has reduced effective chill, reduced freeze duration. We have chance to avoid. Our ailments are a bit of a mess right now. And then we have some leech, and we have a lot of evasion and phasing and spell suppression. We just piano these flasks. We have an enduring divine mana flasks, which I have not had enough currency to quality up yet. Really need to do that. The 20% quality will, effectively give me a whole bunch more life. Right now, our effective life pool is north of 5,000, 5.4. Yeah, it's actually super functional. In yellow maps now. And we're still doing the same thing, right? We have Vortex on the 4-link, we have Static Strike on the 4-link, and then Smite on the 4-link. And then we have a 3-link with Cold Snap. We are running still just Grace, because I've been playing rather than upgrading gear. I think this is the same weapon. I mean, it's not a very exciting weapon. We have, it's a fire essence with some, happen to roll some physical damage and some attack speed. It's pretty awesome. Hat, it has some cold res and some crafted life and some lightning res. It's pretty bad. Chest, 92 life. Pretty happy with that. Chaos res, awesome. Crafted lightning res. Good ring, 70 life. 20 res, and then we crafted some more damage on it. Good base for it. Still these gloves. The link is just expensive to replace because of the off-color sockets. And rolling this guy with 6 charges, that was 130 alterations before I found my first gain 6 charges. That was expensive. The idea of 6 charges is 6 times 2 is 12. We can probably get to 18. If I can get to 20 from 12. 50% increased flash charges gained, puts us at 18. I'll take a look at it in a second. Anyway, gloves, they're garbage. Belt, life, fire res, boots, movement speed, life. This is a nice drop from the mines. Frostbite on hit, crafted life, and an actual good resist roll. Then still the same amulet, which has some lightning damage leached, which is, it's handy. We already have leech from a flask of 0.7 for attack damage. I don't know if we already hit the leech cap anyway, so it might not actually do anything, so it might be a dead stat. And then we have some resists on here, pretty good resists. And some energy shield, which doesn't matter, and some physical damage. And then the shield is garbage. 5 in evasion is not bad. Accuracy, always nice. Still need to fix my links. Still have a bunch of work to do. And I've been lazy, honestly. We are right now level 84. Doing white and yellow maps. And just filling out the atlas. And tier 8s are giving me some issues, so I do have some gear that I'm going to switch to. We're going to go to a 5-link. This is actually quite nice. Has a bunch of life, some mana, good resist. This has far more life on here, more life on here. Accuracy, resists. This has more elemental damage. We have a bunch of cold damage on here, which is awesome. And then we have some lightning and some crafted fire. And we'll talk about the damaging parts in a moment. And then we have bases that I need to work craft on, and I think this needs crafting as well. So this is in progress. These are some purchases. perfect low roll, Laviana Spirit, perfect high roll, and a perfect high roll. I'm gonna quality one of these so I can go from here and to a quality version. And I picked up a Storm Secret because it's a fun item to play with. With Grace was 10C. I've gotten a lot of money, I just don't enjoy trading enough to use it. I get a couple extra at this point. Anyway, not a whole lot going on, but let's take a look at the passive tree because that's where we're going to start seeing changes. This cluster is 10% physical is extra cold, which, I mean, unless our weapon has a bunch of physical, this is not that much damage. 4% physical is extra cold, that's even worse. 40% conversion, this is how we were getting our cold. But if we have a weapon with a bunch of cold base damage, well, you don't have to worry about it as much. And then 12% increase. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 for the mastery, 5 points that are just not doing a whole lot of work for us. So this is going away. Other than that, we have spell suppression, and then we have damage recoup. Damage recoup is mana. We take both of those nodes, combined with Mind Over Matter and Diagnostic. We're super tanky, even though we don't have a Life Flask. I haven't really missed a Life Flask, to be honest. Like, there's some prolonged fights against bosses where I'm like, okay, I probably would have saved my ass, but in general, I'm pretty happy with this flask setup at this time. We have 20% reduced ailment duration here, and we are probably going to pick up the 10% reduced ailment duration up here. So that puts it at 30%, and then from here we have 51% reduced ailment of freeze duration, because we have on top of this also a flask effect, which is probably 30%. Let's take a look at a character. Miscellaneous flask charge is gained with 65%. 65 times 12 is, I don't believe, enough yet. Let me take a quick look, make sure that I'm not lying. 12 times 1.65. We get 19.8 charges. Yay! Every time every 2 hits that we take. So we need a little bit more flask charges gained to get these 2 flasks on a 2-hit cycle. And then flask effects. Guess it's not. We can pick up 10 here. So we had 10. Our ascendancy gives us at this point 15. So we are at 25. We are at 30% flask effect. So that means that this flask has a 66% reduced freeze duration, plus 20 from the other node is for 86% reduced freeze duration. And then next level will be over here, will be at 90. If we want to, we can at that point reduce freeze duration in here, and we should be pretty much immune to freezes. So yeah, maybe take these 3 nodes. I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Probably not. Stun avoidance would be nice. 3 is working pretty well. Took up this little cluster of life and mana. It's not much going on. It's just that this cluster, I think, can actually go away once I convert over to the new weapon. And that's a pretty big deal. We don't have dual sockets allocated yet, so that's going to be worth doing. But I'm kind of trying to figure out if I want to go cast on crit at that point, or keep twacking away the way I have been. If we go cast on crit, what that means is that Smite is no longer as useful. Trinity is not going to be as useful anymore. I just need to figure out what spell I want to use for Smite until I can switch over to Mana Bond. because we don't have enough mana yet. We're here 1.6k mana, which is not nearly enough mana to be able to cut over to what's the stupid skill called? Oh no, the unique flask, the Laviana Spirit, because we really need to drain more mana than that. Other than that, this is working really well. I'm really pleasantly surprised at how well this setup works with the new mods. We do lightning damage in our attacks. It's all hit based, so we care about penetration. We have cold dots. Our cold dots don't care about penetration. We have a curse which helps our cold dots. We don't care about block because we have damage over time. We, if something has a high resistance to cold, chances are we're going to get a much better shock on it. Right, so we kind of have that trade-off where if we run into a mob resistant to cold, chances are we get a better shock, and our lightning damage does more carrying. If we run into a mob which is more resistant to lightning, we're going to have better effect of the what do you call it? The cold dot. That trade-off is really good. But right now I think that I just need a little bit more damage to be able to do like tier 8 maps. And considering I'm pretty much running the same gear that I went into map with, except for the curse on hit ring, which I picked up on maps, that makes sense that you shouldn't be able to get that far. So during the week we'll be working on actually equipping my gear upgrades. I mean, I've got a good 5 link, I should use it. And I think we're gonna go in the with elemental equilibrium, and we're going to do crit based, and we're going to see where we're gonna end up with that. So cast on crit, and then some spell that allows us to use elemental equilibrium to help with our cold dot damage. Our cold skills, as long as we don't have added damage of some flavor, allow us to then have elemental equilibrium for our lightning skills. So we kind of trade back and forth a little bit. And I don't know if I'm going to go with a fire skill for our cast on crit, which is an option, or I'm going to go with a lightning skill. Lightning skills are a little bit wonky. I want to go lightning skills in the long run, but I think I might just go with a fire skill initially and really lean into the elemental equilibrium. That probably would work best. So the way that it would work is we have Vortex, which on occasion just does cold. We have a cast on crit static strike. Static strike will do lightning. The lightning will be relatively small, not much. And then we can then take like a fire skill on top of that. There's a lot of fire skills out there that would work pretty well for that. And since we're scaling elemental damage everywhere, that should work quite nicely. So cast on crit fire skill, and then we probably the next thing that's going to happen is another zappy beam from static strike, which will trigger another fire skill. So something that's area of effect, fire, large hit will be good. We don't really need to worry about critting with the skill. We don't have to really worry about penetration as much, right? Like, if we go with lightning, we could go with lightning penetration, and that's the longer term goal. But if we don't go with lightning, we can go with the fire pen. Or we can use elemental equilibrium to make use of the fire damage there. So that would also be a good option. But I haven't really looked into that yet. That's going to be like the next big switch that's going to come up. So that will be the next video. I think this is as far as I can go with this cap gear. Our mapping is fine. Some of the map bosses are annoying. Really not a lot of that once I got into maps. Just took it a little bit slow early on, and with a couple more skill points, and of course your spells level. And I crafted a new weapon, in essence, and now I have that curse ring, which those two are really the primary sources of my damage. But yeah, super happy with this. It's working really well, and like up until tier 7 maps you're a little bit slower, you have to actually start paying attention. Tier 8 maps get a little sketchy, so now it's time to actually like equip our upgrades. Alright, that's it. Next time, cast on crit.